Hello friends, it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. The Eagles suffer heavy losses as NFL free agency begins. Milton Williams and Josh Sweat are moving on as expected. CJ Gardner-Johnson is traded to the Texans for offensive lineman Kenyon Green. Isaiah Rodgers also leaves to sign with the Vikings. Are the Birds suddenly looking thin on the defensive side? Should we be concerned or lay our trust in Howie Roseman? The Flyers trade Scott Laughton to the Maple Leafs ahead of the deadline for a first-rounder and forward prospect Nikita Grebenkin. Andrei Kuzmenko is also flipped for picks. On the ice, the Flyers have lost 4 straight and appear to be firmly in the draft lottery. Speaking of the draft lottery, the Sixers pick up a crucial loss against the Hawks on Monday. Will the team be able to sink low enough to hold on to their first-round pick? The Phillies open their season in just over 2 weeks. Matt Strahm may miss the opener with a shoulder injury. All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Good to be back as usual. Beautiful sunny day in Philadelphia, so that feels really great to be feeling like the little teas and in the throes of spring right now. Another 60-degree day. A lot of action in free agency. But, yeah, man, feeling pretty good.
Yeah, spring is finally here. It's like, man, spring technically isn't here yet, but for all intents and purposes, it is nice to get those longer days. That lost hour of sleep I lamented last week. You know what I did? I went to sleep early on Saturday, got a good night's sleep, woke up early Sunday, got some stuff done, took a nice mid-afternoon nap, unintentionally, but was definitely helpful, and my sleep schedule actually mostly is normalized.
Yeah.
It is weird that, you know, if it's what time is it? It's like 8:40, and I feel like it's more like 7 o'clock right now, but hey, we'll get used to it. It's good to have them longer days, yo.
Yeah, I ended up, we went out Saturday, and then on the way home had ordered new Chinese food, like some lo mein or whatever.
Oh, you had Asian food weekend.
Yeah, and then just woke up at 3 a.m. Was like, oh fuck, and then had to go downstairs and it was there, but
that's good.
I was like, fuck. Ended up eating a bunch of noodles and dumplings at 3 a.m. One of them weekends, you know.
You really did have Asian food weekend though, because we went to the Sky Cafe.
Yeah, Sky Cafe,
that
which
was
is banging. Cool. Yeah, I would go back.
Recommend. Then you had the noodles and stuff. And then you did Dim Sum Sunday.
Yeah, right. Ocean Harbor on Sunday. That place is awesome.
Yeah, I love an Ocean Harbor.
Yeah.
Do they do the carts still?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the best deals in town, man.
Yeah,
you
it's
eat
awesome.
So much food.
Yeah, and there's no, second you sit down, they're shoving stuff in your face. It's great.
Yeah, I love a good dim sum.
Yeah.
And and love a good Asian food Friday. A dim sum Sunday, man, you were doing it right. Dave would be proud.
Hell yeah.
But so what else is going on? Yeah, I'm going to Top Golf on Thursday for work. Y'all ever been to Top Golf?
I've never been to Top Golf.
I've been there before. I have been there.
What's it like?
I mean, it's like a chill golf simulator type of deal, right? You just there's a bar there, you drink a couple beers or whatever you want, hit some balls into the little field they got with score systems and things like that. It's pretty relaxing, you know.
Is it like bowling but with golf? That's kind of the perception I get.
It's kind of built for people that aren't legit golfers or care about golf.
Oh,
it's
me, perfect.
It's it's kind of
I remember I saw there was this video going around of I guess because it's only sort of confined space and the net only goes up so far or whatever.
It's still a big ass net.
Yeah, but apparently I guess you're not supposed to drive with an actual tee.
Yeah.
And so I saw this video of some guy who I guess brought his own tees.
Damn.
and was just smacking balls way out of the thing, and he got kicked out. It's just a video you see one of the employees come up and he's like, "I told you not to do that. You gotta leave." Fine, fuck. But
that's fun.
Well, not be me. But
I used to love the driving range over in Pennsauken.
By Cooper River.
Yeah.
With
next to across from what was that bar that used to be right there?
Connie Max, rest in peace.
Yeah, right across from there. That place was sick. They had the
It's
multi-level.
still there.
Yeah.
The driving range is still there.
Yeah, the driving range. Yeah, I haven't been there in years, but that used to be fun. Hit him into the river.
So it's just like that, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, you get on the second deck, hit a couple balls, maybe get it in the little score zone. That's about it.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I haven't swung a golf club in probably 15 to 20 years outside mini golf, which obviously you can't really count. So
It's like a driving range mini golf, or it's like mini golf for golf.
Okay.
Mini golf for golf.
Well, for driving, I guess. Because
I get you. Okay. Well, we'll see. I'll report back on how I did, but I do not have high expectations. Golf game's weak. My golf game has always been weak.
Are you lefty?
No, I'm righty.
Oh. Curious. Speaking of golf, man, Tiger Woods.
What about him?
Achilles, blew his Achilles trying to train and get back in golf shape.
How old is Tiger? He's probably got to be damn near 50.
I'm gonna say 52.
Yeah,
52.
All that infidelity keeps you young at heart, you know.
Well, no, he was 20. He was 21 in '97. I just looked up his first Masters.
20.
So,
isn't his son playing golf now?
Yeah. What's his son's
name? Dude, I'm nice.
Cub Goods.
He was born 1975. He's 49. His birthday's December 30th. Damn, he old?
Achilles. I think it was.
Oh, his career's done, dude.
Well,
you that's a hard injury to bounce back from when you're 25. When you're 50?
Mm-hmm. And all that torque he swings with?
Yeah, I mean, Tiger, man.
Cooked.
Pour one out for his career. I ain't pouring one out for Tiger. It's like, I don't dislike Tiger Woods.
I just don't have any feelings about golf one way or another.
I don't like him. I don't dislike
golfers.
him. Yeah, I don't really know a lot about golf.
Yeah.
Yo, is golf the most boring sport to watch?
For me, it is. I mean, some people like it.
I think it's got to be up there.
I mean, a lot of people say that they can't stand watching baseball. They think that's the most boring thing. So, and I like baseball, so it's just kind of.
I think baseball's at least picked it up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, playing golf is fun. Watching golf on TV is like watching paint dry.
Yeah, if I could just drink beer all day and just drive a little golf cart and smash balls around.
Yeah, I see. I can understand the appeal of that.
But watching people do that and they're not having fun, they're just trying to be really good at that is kind of painful to watch.
Yeah. I think I would agree with y'all on that. Like, you spend, 5 to 10 minutes waiting for them to get to the next hole. They get to the hole, they prep, they hit the ball. They might have to hit it a couple more times.
That's what I'm saying.
It takes
curling's
forever,
more fun
dude.
to watch than that.
Oh, Olympic curling's fun as hell.
Yeah,
nice. Even when we had the Summer Olympics, some of those sports were pretty intense and fun to watch. That I never thought I would see myself watching, like Olympic fencing.
Yeah,
that was badass, dude.
Yeah, man, them foils don't play around.
Yeah, water polo. Water polo's hard as hell.
I even like watching the little time people play fucking bocce ball down here. That shit's exciting.
Yo, bocce ball is underrated as far as sports are concerned.
So, yeah, I think golf is a world-renowned boring sport.
Is golf American?
Where did golf originate?
I want to say it was
Ireland,
Scotland, or something.
That makes sense.
I want to say Scotland.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say don't.
I think Scotland.
I don't know that for sure. Though it just sounds right.
I think it is.
Okay, I was going to say leave it to the Americans to come up with the boring sports.
Nah.
But nah, man, baseball. People be dissing baseball, and certainly there are things that I dislike about what they did to kind of speed up the game. But a lot of what they did,
it is Scotland.
Okay.
So the 15th century.
Wow.
God
damn, golf's old. Yo, what's the oldest sport? Right? Look that up next. What is the?
I remember they had wrestling in the old Athens Olympics or
discus.
whatever.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, discus is probably up there.
Shit.
Oh, damn, I nailed it. According to that, it says wrestling is considered the oldest sport in the world, dating back to the beginning of civilization.
Wow.
Jesus.
Mankind's oldest, most basic form of recreational combat traces its origins to the dawn of civilization.
I mean...
Yeah, I guess before you had bats and balls and sticks and whatnot, what the hell are you supposed to do? Beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
I guess that's interesting, though, right? If we're envisioning sport as, a game. That's what I think of, a game to be played. But wrestling isn't a game to be played. It's I don't even know what.
It's a physical competition.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when I think of a sport, I'm thinking of hockey or something that
some sort of object in a goal.
That's all.
Yeah.
I don't. Wrestling. It's just funny that also falls into that, which is fine. I'm not. Again, it's not a knock on wrestling. It's just an interesting. What would you label it if it wasn't going to be a sport?
Fighting.
Just a good time with the boys.
Yeah.
Just rolling around, getting sweaty.
Or the girls, women wrestle too.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting all oiled up. And
they used to do it nude. Back in the old Olympic days.
Back when
ancient Greece.
Back when men were men.
That's what they,
sweaty balls flopping around.
All those old ancient pottery you see
That's
pictures
when fucking men
That
were,
is true.
Men were real men there.
Damn, you think they were grab, twisting, and pulling?
I would say that I feel like you'd have to at least be able to like tuck your shit in somehow.
Yeah, otherwise that's a really unfair advantage.
Like, yeah.
I don't
Well, I'm
know,
sure.
man.
I feel like it's probably against the rules to like grab someone's balls. But what if you get like pinned down the wrong way and they're just like, that seems like it'd be bad.
Yeah.
Do you think they wore pieces?
I don't know.
Probably not. They probably didn't know how to put on a piece back then. You know what I mean?
Listen, I mean, they were kind of freaky though back then over there.
That is
Spartans
true.
and Greeks were like fucking, they were
I'm trying to
wrestling
look this
fucking-
up. I have to be very careful about what I type into Google. Like ancient Greece wrestling.
Your search history is going to be all about ancient Greek ball sacks. But nah, man. They were into stuff like that though. Like Saturnalia. Wasn't Saturnalia like a pagan holiday where men would have gay sex? That's real, right? I think that was a thing.
It was a pagan holiday, it was it was just like a harvest festival.
Oh, I feel like some. You know what I'm thinking of?
I mean, I'm sure there were some dudes having gay sex on Saturnalia, just like having to get a few.
Yeah,
a few glasses of wine.
Yeah. Oh man, look at that crop. You know what? Let's fuck. Hold on. Yeah,
I mean that undoubtedly happened. I don't know if that's what it was all about, but I mean. That happens at Christmas parties now.
Yeah, man.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Iron sharpens iron, baby.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm just saying the ancient Greeks and Romans, they used to be into some stuff.
Back when men were men.
I ain't mad at them for it.
Well, the Eagles lost a little warrior today in CJGJ.
Yeah, they lost a few over the last couple of days.
It's been rough.
Yeah.
First coaches, now players, and another coach. No, not another coach, but players left and right.
According to you, Fangio's going to get cancer and die soon.
No, whoa, easy. I'm just saying, that's a long ways away. But, yeah, 6 players in 2 days?
Yeah.
6 starters, just about.
5 of 11 starters
5, yeah.
On the defense. On the Super Bowl starting defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at. And I think some of them, like, obviously, we saw Josh Sweat leaving coming.
Yeah.
We saw Milton Williams leaving coming.
Yep.
Slay, we kind of predicted that was going to happen.
As a cap
Although
hit,
he could still come back. Who knows what that
I'm
looks like.
confused about that deal that it's not official. It's not official yet.
What, to the Steelers?
Yeah.
I don't think there were a bunch of people tweeting it out on yesterday, but then apparently someone tweeted out it's not real, and then no one ever actually officially announced it. Like none of the real newsbreakers. So
no, so I think it's still in limbo, or he's. I mean,
it might be a situation like when
this
he
happened
almost
last year
exactly.
too, though.
Yeah, with Slay.
Yeah, where like he was maybe got an offer in hand and went back to the Eagles, and then people thought that he was going to that other team, and then he came back to the Birds. So
to the
maybe,
Ravens. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I just it doesn't make sense for me for him to go to Pittsburgh or any other team. I feel like he's going to come back.
It's either he comes back here or Detroit, which he's probably just that might be what it is they extended him an offer. That it's good money, and he's probably like, yeah, why do I want to go here? It's either Philly, or I go back to Pittsburgh, or I go back to Detroit. Like Pittsburgh.
But you got to play Lamar Jackson twice a year? Come on.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Like, fuck that at his age. I mean, you got
going
some
up
young...
against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins twice a year?
Right. Fuck that.
Yeah, I ain't beat for that.
And DeAndre Hopkins and whoever else they got in Baltimore now, they just picked up Hopkins.
He's kind of washed, as we saw in the Super Bowl.
Which would help Slay, but still, it's not an easy job when you don't have a defensive front like you had here. Although, the front looks different now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, though. The word gymnasium comes from the Greek word gymnos, meaning naked. Gymnasium literally meant naked place, because men and boys studied, trained, competed, and even simply lived completely nude. Not only were the ancient Olympics competed in the nude, if you were competing from a neighboring county, you were required to compete nude also, including wrestling.
So if you didn't want to be nude...
That's from Rick Orlando on Quora.
So if you don't want to be nude, but you're from a neighboring county, and you want to participate, you have to be naked?
You got to be butt naked.
Or neighboring country, I meant.
Country, yeah, still.
If you were competing from
So the whole country was already naked, and then if you were in Canada and wanted to play in America, you had to be butt naked.
I guess if you were, it'd be like...
He said if we made up that rule.
Yeah.
Boys and men.
It's like...
What if...
No ifs, ands, or buts,
you got to do it our way.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
A country where notoriously everyone has small penis.
Well, you don't know that, I guess, until you go to Greece.
But then you show up there and people like you're naked and Greek people are walking around strutting their stuff. And then you're like, oh, yeah, these guys are a lot bigger than me. You're already feeling some type of way about winning the competition.
Well, maybe that's why they had the rule. It was a
ego.
You know,
it was a mental warfare.
You got to figure out what your competitive advantage is. And
although most Greek statues have like smaller penises, if you think about it.
That probably maybe they didn't do the penis to scale though. I don't know. I have no idea.
Not a little bit of embellishment back in the day?
Well, the other thing too is, like, you know how like old, like old statues, like a lot of times the arms are like off and stuff because like anything that's like sort of like protruding out on its own, like from like weathering and just age, it kind of falls off. So if they were to have made a bunch of statues with big honkers, they probably would have like
that's true, and you can't have that.
So if you ever in like a museum and you see a statue with like a missing dick, it's probably like that guy probably had
rocked.
a big old schlong.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the more you know.
Anyway,
wow,
you heard it here first, folks.
It's all just history, you know. We're just here to educate the people.
Yeah, now that the Eagles are in the off season, once free agency's over, we'll become a history podcast.
Still talking about birds.
Yeah, the Flyers and Sixers, we won't really have a whole lot to talk about. The Phillies will be in the early stages. So yeah, May will become a history podcast. Get your topics ready. Send us an email. DM us with your topics.
But that's why the Egyptians, all their shit, it's like their whole thing was like they wanted everything to be built to last like forever. So that's why all their statues are very compact and to avoid that issue.
Interesting.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, I never considered that either.
Yeah, I took an art history class in high school.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Mr. King's proud of you. Does he listen to the pod?
Maybe.
He would probably
follows us on TikTok. He likes the TikTok videos sometimes. Yeah. Shout out Mr. King.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But anyway, what were we talking? Oh, we were talking about the Eagles. So yeah, CJGJ's gone. It's been an interesting start to the all season, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess we were all expecting, Josh Sweat and Milton Williams.
Right.
We knew that they were going to make big money and probably weren't going to come back.
Yeah.
But now that it's happened, it is kind of like, ooh. But, I don't know. This is just the beginning of the offseason. We'll see.
I think with those two, though, and Slay and CJGJ, that is a bit of like a lot to
it's kind of a lot at once. Like the CJGJ thing, I guess I would not say that it's shocking, but it's a little would have liked to keep him around, especially since, Sidney Brown only played half the season and didn't really play that much when he was available.
He's not
pretty much just talking about Reed Blankenship and like Tristan McCollum
that's really it. Honestly,
they're a little thin there.
I like the youth of the team, and I do like Sidney Brown. I mean, right, great build, big hitter. Some of his hits probably would be a little bit illegal here and there, but CJGJ, when we signed him last year, it was like, oh hell yeah! Like we brought the swag back. He's a great player, knows the system, is a ball hawk. Not the biggest hitter consistently.
He hits pretty hard,
consistently, but will every now and then hit someone that could be moderately defenseless. We'll see. But I don't know. To your point earlier, like, was there some weight to what Slay said about him leaving and having it go to Reed and not him, and that there's no real leadership there? I mean, there is definitely character question marks around CJGJ, but you didn't really notice it when they were playing well. So
it just kind of seems like they didn't want to give him an extension and a big raise. And I feel like they were just kind of trying to get ahead of it and just...
Seems like they're not trying to pay anybody right now. I think they're trying to go big on something.
Well, there's also down the line they're going to have guys are going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay Carter, and Nolan Smith, and Quinion, and
Coop,
the Gene eventually. Yeah, there's a lot of guys who are going to have to give out contracts to Jordan Davis.
We'll see.
I don't know. I'm surprised he's still here. To be honest with you, I thought he was going to be on a trade.
He probably doesn't have a whole lot of value, but Fran Duffy brought this up. Milton Williams, who we would all admit that Jalen Carter is definitely better than and probably helped him earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
Milton Williams got $26 million per year yesterday. Myles Garrett got $40 million this weekend. Jalen Carter is going to land somewhere in there next year, and with other big contracts coming, big part of the reasoning behind the trade.
Yeah.
Which is a good point. Like, Jalen Carter probably makes damn near $40 million a year.
Yep.
So, like, if you're going to pay him that much, and deservedly so, right? Like, the dude's on an Aaron Donald type trajectory. You got to cut some corners somewhere. It's kind of the cost of doing business. You got to, what is that saying? I don't want to butcher this one like I did last week. You got to rob Peter to pay Paul, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Something
so,
like
you don't really want to have to cut corners everywhere, but in a salary cap league, you got to fight your battles.
Plus, you look at the win rate, too, on QB pressure rate, right? I think Milton Williams had, 480 snaps this season, right? 18% win rate. Where you look at Moro
Ujima. I think it's Ujima.
Ujima? Okay. We got to look that up so we're not all butchering it here. He had only, 380 snaps, but a 17.8 pressure rate.
Yeah.
So, he only missed it by... I mean, you give him the same amount of snaps, he might, if not potentially beat Milton Williams. And shout out, Milton Williams had a great season. No knock on that, right? But, to your point, you put anybody next to a Aaron Donald, same conversation caliber player, you're getting a one-on-one matchup against, the second or third best O-lineman. You're going to be okay with that. Yeah. Now, I will say, being in between a Jalen Carter and a Josh Sweat probably helps as well. So I'd be curious to see who their heavy hitter is then to be that solid end. Nolan Smith is great. He picked it up, right? Especially toward the end of the year.
Yeah.
But he's been inconsistent throughout his career as an Eagle. And he
also only plays one end. You still
and there's
have
only
another
one.
end.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious to see if he's our premier guy or if we bring in maybe a Trey Hendrickson or Henderson, whatever his last name is.
Hendrickson, yeah.
That would be a huge piece. But you don't really have a number one end. Right? I mean, Nolan Smith.
I think the expectation is Nolan Smith can grow into it, but also, you can't play him 100% of the snaps every game.
No.
I mean, Jalen Carter, we were lucky that they were able to do that. Most guys don't do that these days.
No.
The amount of times you're rushing the passer, you need to be able to rotate guys. And, let's say you have Jalen Carter and Ujima in the middle, and then you have Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, and Bryce Huff, whatever happens with him.
Yeah.
That's 5 guys, right? You got to rotate. God forbid someone gets hurt. Someone's going to get hurt for a week or two. Then what? I think the Eagles plan to draft well as far as DN goes. This is a DN heavy draft. I think wouldn't be surprised if the first round pick, if they don't trade it, is spent on a DN. But at the end of the day, that's a rookie that you don't really know what you're going to get from him. Hopefully he's good. We might not be so lucky as we were with our rookies this year. So a little concerned about what they do on the D-line. I would say it's probably lower on my list of concerns as opposed to, say, the secondary right now, particularly at safety. And even linebacker, letting Oren Burks go when Nakobe Dean isn't going to be ready to start the year. You're putting a lot of eggs in the Jeremiah Trotter Jr. basket, which could be right.
Yeah.
But, he was a 5th-round pick for a reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm at with all this stuff.
I like it. They're putting a lot of faith in Vic Fangio, too, right? You figure in his first season as the coordinator, put out arguably one of the best defenses the Eagles have had as a team collectively.
Yeah.
So I think you got to just trust in Howie, see what he does, right? Next season, we have a decent amount of picks this year, but we got a shit ton of picks the year after
we
that.
have a decent amount this year now.
We do.
Because we picked up some comp picks for all our guys going.
Yeah, but 2026... we have a bunch.
Yeah, I think we have 8 this year. What do we have next year? 10, I think?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think that, trust in his draft. He's been on a crazy-ass run draft-wise the last couple of years. So, you get your defensive linemen 2 years ago. You get your corners and secondary players this year. Kelly Ringo gets to step up into a role. Sidney Brown can hopefully stay healthy. Ed Reed, Blankenship is still there as a safety. So, no doubt he'll pick up somebody else probably in the 3rd, 4th round. I envision most likely, depending on the Mekhi Becton situation, I think that them picking up a weird former 1st round offensive guard, similar size to Mekhi Becton, is kind of a tell of him leaving.
Yeah, I was going to say,
do you guys think that that's pretty much seals the deal that Beckton's not going to be back?
Yeah.
Pick up his guy?
He mentioned that he would take a hometown discount, which I'm okay with. But another guard, unless you're envisioning, Becton was initially, a tackle? So unless you think about potentially moving him to tackle, I don't know. It's a confusing move to have another 1st-round guard when you have Fred Johnson, Tyler Steen, Mekhi Becton. We got all these big dudes
think Fred Johnson's a free agent, so
okay, so not Fred Johnson,
be gone.
but
Tyler Steen's still here yet. And then if you bring in this guy,
or you bring him in and hopefully you can train him to be a kind of a Swiss Army knife on that line, not a center, but a guard or a tackle. Stoutland has shown that he can turn fucking dog shit into gold.
Yeah,
so
he can turn garbage into gold, riches to rags, rags to riches.
Yeah, so I'm not really concerned about that. I'm just confused that you know what you get with CJ value-wise. This dude is,
I mean, respectfully, he's kind of been a bust.
Yeah.
Right? Like, which...
But you can say about Becton, too.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's
that.
like really the same situation, right?
But does lightning strike twice? I don't...
Yeah, exactly. You can't really count... As much as, as great as Jeff Stoutland is, you can't really count on him being able to do that with everybody,
No. And expectation is through the roof now because you're like, wow, he did it with Becton, so this guy's going to be
I mean, it's kind of... I guess you look at it, it's a lot of the same kind of thing. High drive pedigree, a lot of like raw tools... Probably pretty poorly coached in Houston.
He was hurt too.
He was hurt in his second
last year.
So maybe they can work their magic again. I don't know.
But they had Laramie Tunsil, so like you figure he's learning something there. But that O line is going to be shit then now in Houston.
Yeah, and they got a young quarterback. Ugh.
Yeah,
I mean that's for the be their problem, but not happy times if you're CJ Stroud now.
Man, injury prone receiving core. No O-lineman. I mean, they were pumped when they got Laramie Tunsil, and then now he's gone, which fucking hurts us. That's wild, man.
Yeah, to Washington.
Yeah.
But like
with no end. That's my biggest thing, too, is that you have an undersized D-end, right? Sweat was kind of beefy, but not the biggest, but he was strong.
Above average size,
right.
Yeah.
You're going to need to beef up that end spot, because even Hunt is kind of smaller for end.
Yeah, and Hunt's a converted safety.
That's what I'm saying.
It's wild.
Not that their whole O-line is big, but we need some more meat on that line.
Yeah, Laramie Tunsil.
Jeremy Lunsell.
That's a me move right there.
Yeah, that is. Laramie Tunsil's a solid tackle, right? Hold up. You remember when he got caught smoking with the gas mask?
That was so funny.
Wasn't that his dad that shared that shit?
Oh, or an uncle or something.
It was a family member.
Yeah. I remember I was at Lucky 13 watching the draft that year, and a few minutes before the draft, I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw a video of him just smoking weed with a gas mask. I was like, damn, the Eagles should draft this guy. He's actually ended up having a pretty good career.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's a solid player. So a lot of, in Howie we trust always, but it's a very stagnant offseason. I feel like last year, right, we've had the Saquon Barkley move. We got CJ back. There was a lot more excitement on the free agency side, This year seems like it's more of we're going to sign the guys we need to keep this thing going, and we're going to just keep building youth and young guys in the draft and trust the draft process that way.
Yeah.
So, it worked out last year. He struck gold with Cooper and Quignon. We'll see, and honestly Hunt too, but we'll see what happens this year. Could be a tight end in the window. I heard they gave Goddard the green light to seek a trade partner.
Yeah, which that'll be interesting. That'll be a different story if they do end up trading him. But yeah, Howie did kind of allude to the fact that it wasn't going to look how we expected.
Yep.
I mean, it really hasn't, right? Like,
no.
Compare this offseason to any other Eagles offseason where their two biggest spendings are on a running back and a linebacker. We've sat here for years and been like, they never spend on running back or linebacker. This year they do. You know where they typically spend their money on? The D-line.
Yep.
2 D-linemen, starting D-linemen, Pro Bowl caliber D-linemen just left. He did also plead the fans to have some patience. So I think he's probably got something up his sleeve with all these comp picks we got. He also mentioned that we're going to get a lot of comp picks. Those are good to move up in the draft. Those are good to trade for NFL players that are already in the league. I don't know who's on the trade market. Trey Hendrickson's one of them. Probably command a little bit more money or a little bit more in trade, what's the word I'm looking for? Assets than the Eagles have, but you never know. Howie's probably got something up his sleeve. Just what it is, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned. I think we'll be all right. You locked in, honestly, one of the best, probably the best free agent on the market in Zach Bond back. So
yeah,
I really could give a shit less, who else they bring in or whatever they give up, because he's built those backup pieces throughout the draft the last year or two. Hunt to fill in for whoever. Ojomo to fill in for whoever. So, I'm not concerned, but I'll have to wait one more week and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm a little skeptical, but I haven't reached a point that I'm like, oh yeah, like this is bad. You just got to be patient, like Howie said. We just got to trust him.
Yeah.
He's won 2 Super Bowls in 7 years. Like, I don't know.
You know what is still available right now? Freaking Amari Cooper. I think he's a free agent right now.
Is he?
I think so.
I don't think you think he fits with this offense where they don't really throw to the third receiver anyway?
I think it would be an interesting option. That's all.
I've always liked Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
He's starting to get up there in age.
Yeah.
But
He reminds me of
maybe he wants to. Maybe he's in that ring chasing mode. Yep.
Yeah, get some fucking backlash on Dallas too for not bringing his ass back.
Yeah. Speaking of Cleveland Browns, we did call Kenny Pickett to the Browns last week.
There you go.
in the wrong trade.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett stayed with Cleveland, but hey, Kenny Pickett still ends up on the Browns in the second best city in the United States after Philadelphia.
They might win a ring. They might fuck around win a ring.
Kenny Pickett's probably like, oh, damn,
True.
real estate's cheap out here. I'm about to buy a 6-bedroom house, 4 bathrooms, 2 garages. That's Cleveland for you, baby.
And we got what?
Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Yo, that one preseason like 2 years ago, he was nasty.
Yeah.
But he's been ass. He has last season 1 touchdown. I shouldn't laugh. 1 touchdown and 10 interceptions.
Holy shit.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't do that on Madden if I was playing all Madden with like Mike McMahon as my quarterback. You remember Mike McMahon?
Hell yeah. That's a camp on right there.
Yeah, I mean, Tanner McKee's definitely the backup, dude.
Tanner McKee is the number 2.
McKee season.
Time, baby.
So here's the deal, McKee's the backup. If Hurts gets hurt next year, McKee's leading us back to the Super Bowl.
I'm feeling
you heard it here
big
first.
Nick Foles energy right there.
He kind of looks. His game is similar.
Yeah.
His game's really similar to Foles. I like a Tanner McKee, the Mormon Missile.
Yeah. Good nickname. There'll be T-shirts out there in the streets of Philly if he does that.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, we'd need to have a raunchier name like Big Dick Nick for him, but we can come up with that when we get there.
But it kind of makes sense that it's more timid because it's Mormon Missile.
I guess.
They don't really get raunchy like that unless he's soaking.
I mean, they Mormons do get pretty raunchy. I mean,
the soaking slinger. Damn. I mean, that's all really as raunchy as you can get for a Mormon.
Yeah, I mean, Mormons have mad kids and they can have multiple wives. Like, they get it in, but yeah, they don't do it raunchily.
I mean, they get it in. They just be jumping on the bed. And...
Yeah, it's pious, if you will. But nah, I was kind of intrigued by that trade just because, you make space for the Mormon Missile. Kenny Pickett gets to win his Super Bowl, gets to beat the Cowboys as a fan of the Eagles growing up. He lived he lived our dream. Every child growing up in the Delaware Valley, he lived our dream. So shout out to him. And I guess he's going to be the starter in Cleveland because Deshaun Watson tore his ACL or his Achilles again. I think he tore his Achilles.
He did, yeah.
So he's going to be out all season, and he's washed anyway.
Yeah, unless they bring in someone else. I mean, good for him.
Was Pickett the one where Myles Garrett hit him in the head with his helmet?
No, that was Mason Rudolph.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, Kenny Pickett's not a bad dude like that.
No. He can barely fucking throw a football straight. At least he's not worried about talking shit on the field.
That's true.
But, yeah, it's been a crazy offseason so far in the NFL, but take it 1 week at a time.
Yeah, I'll miss CJ, man. I think the Eagles will miss him more than they're leading on. Mm-hmm. It's because...
We did the year after he left the first time.
Right, exactly. Like, he's really good, like you mentioned it, as a ball hawk. Both his seasons here, he had 6 interceptions.
He's always around.
Yeah. And like, he does give up the touchdown here or there, but he's also great in run defense.
Great in run,
yeah.
And I think the thing that people don't understand is, like, the intangibles.
His presence on the field, his presence in the locker room. He's got that swag and energy.
Like, he's always getting under the other team's skin. He's always getting in their head. And sometimes that can backfire. Like the second Washington game where he got ejected for, I still don't even really know why.
No one knows why.
But other times that's a good thing. Like the thing that a bunch of people have brought up is that 49ers game, not this past season, 2 years ago, when like the Eagles were warming up, the Niners just walked all up in their warm-up circle.
Yeah.
CJ's there. That ain't happening.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they kind of miss that level of swag. Like, Bond definitely has swag. Cooper DeJean has swag.
But you're missing
they're all
Slay
kind of
and CJGJ like that.
Exactly.
That's a lot of
they all
personality.
strike me as more introverts, whereas like you need that crazy extrovert, which Sidney Brown has some of that to his game.
When he's healthy.
But yeah, he gets banged up a lot. And the other thing with him too is like Fangio's defense, your safeties need to be smart and be able to like read and react on a dime. I feel like with Sidney Brown, there's a lot of reacting, but probably not a whole lot of reading. Like the limited playing time that he's gotten on the regular defense, he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, which sometimes that's good. But in Fangio defenses, like the Cooper DeJean interception, you need to be able to like read and react on a dime and adjust to what the scheme's telling you. And I don't know, we haven't seen it from Sidney Brown. They did bring in, what's this guy's name that went to Georgia, the safety, Lewis Seen.
Yeah.
So maybe they have expectations that he ascends into that role. I don't know. He's a first-round pick too, but he's, again, just unproven, and that's putting a lot of stock on the Georgia pedigree right now.
And Vic Fangio.
Yeah, and that's assuming he's Stoutland, but for the defense, which this year he showed he has some of that to him, but
you lose a lot of
like
leadership on the, I mean, you know, whatever Slay wants to say about that, but just personality-wise and what you see energy-wise on the field, losing Slay, if we don't get him back, and CJGJ, that is a lot of energy on the defense that you lose. You don't see Quignon being a big he might talk shit to the receiver, but they're not.
He's definitely more introverted.
Right. Cooper isn't going to be yelling at everybody else on the team, right?
Blankenship's an introvert.
And as we've seen before, guys can't really yell from the defensive line perspective, right?
No, they're too busy.
Vaughn is good at that, so at least you have your field general that way. But the secondary level, we saw that when Malcolm Jenkins first left us. Like, there was no, I mean, talk about a chicken without a head on. Like, Reed ain't doing anything. He's a great player. Positional-wise, he can read the defense, do his thing, but, like, he's not going to get in anybody's face, talk his shit, get the team amped up for that from the secondary perspective. You lose a lot of swag on that. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, maybe Keely Ringo, we haven't really seen him play. We don't know what he provides. Isaiah Rodgers kind of had some of that, but he's gone too.
That was I forgot too. Yeah, Isaiah Rodgers.
Gone.
That was a big piece.
I kind of thought we would keep him, but
yeah, I think letting him and Oren Burks go is sneaky, like not good. Right? Like, Oren Burks, like...
Well, did he land anywhere? He's just a free agent.
He went to the Bengals, I think. The Bengals or the Bengals, yeah.
Yeah, I think
on 2 years, $5 million total. Like, you could have paid him 2 years for $2.5 million a year to keep him.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
I feel
weird.
like Howie's got something brewing that either is for this season for one solid player instead of, like, a couple little pieces, or he's just backloading for all those contracts next year he's going to have to pay for. But it never, I mean, Howie hasn't led us wrong that way yet.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And he did pay a linebacker and a running back, albeit I don't really get the Saquon re-signing, but I'll take it for this season.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he was already locked up, so whatever, but we'll see. Still a very young team, so I'll take it.
Yeah, they're good. They're getting younger, which is good. I just hope it's not at the expense of, like, staying good. You know what I mean? But like you said, like we both said, like all three of us said, we kind of just have to trust the process and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other? Oh, they're going to the White House, at least reportedly right now.
Yeah,
they officially accepted it, I'm pretty sure.
But you remember this. I had forgotten about this. Dean reminded me of it in 2017 or 2018, I guess. They accepted the invite and were going to go. And then the night or like the week before the visit, Trump found out most of the players didn't want to come and he canceled the visit.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that happens again because...
I feel like this happened, though, the opposite way this year, where, like, they initially said no.
And, like, I don't know if that...
Or was that false?
Yeah. I don't think they ever officially said that. I think people just kind of ran with that.
How do you feel if they go?
I don't really care.
Whatever.
It's a circus in there anyway at this point, so, like...
Yeah, I don't care. I have a hard time seeing Jeffrey Lurie going, right? Like, Jeffrey Lurie is, like, famously a Democrat from one of the most liberal cities in the country. And, yeah, he's a billionaire, but I feel like he's also spoken out about as much as you'll hear a billionaire speak out against Trump in the past. So I have a hard time thinking he'll go. I feel like Sirianni definitely likes Trump. I don't know why though. Don't ask me why. Just have that vibe from Sirianni.
I don't think we need to ask you why. I think we can just kind of
feel me on it. Okay, because I feel like some people are like, "Why do you think that?"
I think him and Big Dom probably have just that certain intangible sense.
There's something about him. I can't quite put my finger on.
What are you saying? All Italians like
No,
Trump?
no. I'm not saying that at all. You didn't ask. I'm not saying. I'm not saying that.
It's just one of those things, right?
That's all.
But yeah, I think. I feel like Hurts is gonna go. You seen Hurts eating dinner with Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who famously said Republicans buy sneakers too?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. Hurts is definitely going. I mean, I don't really care one way or the other.
I mean, he's on a historical run right now in appearances, so I think he's just ranking them up right now while he can.
Yeah, it's most other presidencies. I'd be like, yeah, it's an honor. Like, go for it. Like, I wouldn't really want to shake Trump's hand, but unless I'm spitting on it first, which who knows? Maybe one of them's going to go there with the flu, get him deathly ill, and he dies.
Or they just kill him.
Would they go to jail for that? No, that's not.
You can't prove it.
You can't prove it. Not with this fucking health system.
That's the plan.
Not with RFK in business.
Someone's going to go there with the measles and going to get his ass sick.
They got to go get some kid from Texas.
Yep. Go kiss him on the lips.
Bring him in. Damn.
Yeah, playing 5D chess here.
Yeah.
No, I don't really care. People are making a big deal about it.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't really get worked up about it.
I mean, how much weight does a presidential visit really have anyway? I mean, it's not an endorsement. They just go, they give him a jersey. He says some weird shit, probably some random off-the-cuff shit. You get a couple sound bites from the guy, and then that's it.
That's it, yeah. I mean, so many teams have done it. Like, it's just part of what you do when you win a championship in the United States. It was cool when the Eagles didn't go in 2018. Like, I definitely respected that more, but I don't really care, man.
No.
There are more important things to worry about with the political situation in the world than did the Eagles go to the White House. Miss me with that.
I think the climate was different too then. Malcolm Jenkins was way more of an outspoken leader.
Yeah, you
in
had
other
Chris Long
political
on the team.
things.
Yeah.
Chris Long, like you weren't. It was a whole different vibe in that locker room than this is. Right? There's leaders on the team, but they're not like
they're young.
Community. They're not community leaders though.
Yeah.
Malcolm Jenkins was like really going out there, fighting the fight, doing shit. So
Malcolm Jenkins would have gone to the White House and daishiki, did the Black Power fist in front of
that's what
Trump.
I'm saying.
Yeah, that would have been cool as hell.
Yeah.
So they're going. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then I guess we'll see what happens with free agency. It's day 2. You know what's crazy is we're technically still in the tampering period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is there left to happen? Like, deals have been getting agreed to left and right. So, like, when the actual league year starts tomorrow...
Yeah, I don't even know what's the point of making the distinction anymore.
The tampering period, this is wild because it's technically supposed to start Monday. I was seeing, like, agreements being made Saturday, Sunday. It's like... The tampering period just doesn't exist. You can tamper. Other sports need to take notice. Tampering should be more allowed, dude.
Mm-hmm. You can't help it.
Like, I'm cool with tampering.
Who did the Rams just get? Did the Rams just get DK?
No, DK went to the Steelers.
Yeah,
Devontae Adams.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind, yeah.
And then they said they're going to release Cooper Kupp.
Which, that always is confusing to me when a team says... I will let you seek a trade until 4 p.m. on the deadline, and then we're going to release you. Because then if you're a regular... unless you really desperately want Cooper Kupp...
You can just wait.
You just wait till he gets released. Why would you give up a pick for a guy that you know they're going to release?
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless they end up keeping him for a cheap deal, but like what...
There's no room for him now. They're like, in this case, once they signed Devontae Adams, if I was another team and I was interested in Kupp, I'm just chilling.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't need to trade anything.
You prep your offer and then you go, like, that's just a silly move for me. Like, I've never heard... I know, it's just odd.
Yeah, I don't know. NFL GMs are not always the smartest, which is why we're lucky we have Howie.
Like, the Eagles will say, like, all right, Dallas, like, you can go seek a trade. But they didn't say, we're going to release you if we don't find a trade partner.
Yeah,
if they find a good enough offer, they probably talked and said, we will trade you. But if not, we'll keep you for, I don't know, whatever it would be.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
I mean, NFL GMs, some of them are literally fantasy football GMs, I kind of feel like, so.
I.e. the Giants.
Yeah.
Darius Slayton getting $36 million, but they wouldn't give fucking Parkland $38 million?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Darius Slayton, who's like an okay receiver, but
dude, I hope they get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, me too. Honestly,
that would be super funny.
So fun.
Oh, it'd be great to just bury his ass every week. Well, 2 times.
2 times
2
a
weeks.
year. Yeah. Then he might tear his Achilles on that turf again.
Yeah, you got Justin Fields going to the Jets.
For 2 years and $40 million for Justin
York
Fields? You're smoking dope,
dumb.
dude.
Yeah.
They're just a dumb football state, honestly. It's bad. Well, I should
Except
say
for the
city,
Bills,
except
yeah.
for the Bills.
Which, I mean, we talked about Sean McDermott last week, so I'm not going to revisit that. But the Bills have their flaws, too. They did give Josh Allen a lot of money, which he deserves it, and I guess they're trying to reset the QB market, but...
Does he deserve it? That's every fucking year they said they were resetting them. Every year market gets reset.
The remarket, it does usually get reset every year, every other year.
Right.
Because that inflation's a bitch. You know, I've been talking about inflation on this pod for 2 years.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Inflation's no
Now
joke.
We're going to be getting worse with them tariffs. We're
Oh,
paying
yeah,
like
that's a good
$10
point.
for an avocado.
Mm-hmm.
Avocados already are kind of expensive, too.
They keep threatening them and then being like, nah, we'll do it next week.
Yeah.
Like,
But we're going to do it eventually.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
Can't last long.
But the stock market's already tanking.
It is.
Even though, like, the tariffs aren't all in effect yet.
Because
How the
people
hell
are
does that
fucking
work?
scared.
they're
They're like,
spooked.
yeah.
They're selling off now.
They're tanking before the tank. Kind
Yeah.
of like the
Getting ahead.
Not
unlike the Sixers.
Getting rid of the Flyers. Well, I guess...
The Flyers are doing their part. They're trying.
Yeah, the Flyers... This past weekend was tanktastic, which I guess we can get... Are we done with the Eagles?
Yeah, I think we're wrapped
so.
up.
Yeah, the Flyers this weekend was... I mean, I guess we can start with the trades.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Scott Laughton.
He
After
gone.
much speculation, has finally been traded.
He out. He definitely out.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think the fact that they finally pulled the trigger on that kind of puts to rest the like, are they actually rebuilding or are they not? Because I don't know. I feel like a lot of people thought that they were just never going to rebuild him because they thought he was too important to the culture and this and that.
And that was kind of me, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there's a reason why they were holding out to get like a first round pick. Like he was important to them, but they weren't going to refuse, a first rounder. And apparently the prospect they got back is pretty interesting too.
Yeah,
I don't know a
what's
lot
his
about
name?
him, but Nikita
I don't know how the Grenebkin.
something like that.
I'm not good with Russian names.
Yeah.
I'm good with Japanese names. Y'all know this.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce homie's name? Where is it?
But he's like 21 years old.
Grebenkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I knew that much about him, but
Here's what Charlie O'Connor had to say. We're talking about a winger with second liner potential if he puts it all together, but also who plays a do-anything for the team style that gives him a real chance to stick as an NHL bottom sixer if the scoring never fully translates. He's a medium ceiling, high floor player and immediately becomes one of the organization's best 10 prospects. So
I'll take that. In addition to a first round pick.
Yeah, I mean, the high-end outcome is a second-line forward.
Also loading up on more Russians, baby.
Yeah,
got another-
that's true. There probably is a
apparently-
Michkov factor. They
No,
played.
They played. Yeah, they've known each other since childhood. Apparently, they grew up in the same
Oh,
area.
Meech is probably
and
happy,
they played
man.
on like the
Man.
national team
They
together.
grew up in the same
before,
village?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think they were
Something
both. They were both in the KHL at the same time. So like,
Yeah, they're about the same age, I think. Well, no, Mishkov's a little younger, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, if like the upside
Might be like a
translate
year apart.
and he's a second line forward and he's young,
Yeah,
and even if he ends up being a third line forward, this team needs whatever they can get their hands on right now. They're bad now that they traded all these people.
yeah.
It's UGLY.
Dude,
They ain't got no alibi.
did you see a few nights ago when Joel Farabee had that ridiculous goal?
No.
Oh my
He
god!
scored a goal. He's been ass since he
Yeah.
got traded.
No, but he had like a fucking highlight reel, like goal of the year type goal where he just like turnstile this defender and like like it was a sick fucking goal. And I was like, of course.
I didn't know he was capable of that. I didn't know he had that in his
not,
bag.
not that makes me have second thoughts about trading or
Yeah,
anything,
he was
but it was
bucked,
just like a
dude.
classic. Like, as soon as the Flyers trade a guy, he has like, and it was hilarious because it was just like being shared. Like, it wasn't just like Flyers fans being like, oh man, it was just like all over like just the main like hockey accounts being like, "This is one of the best goals of the year."
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
Yeah. He has a sick goal, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think right now they're sitting at. They're playing right now. I think they were losing.
They're losing 4-2. I just got
okay. So that's probably going to be another regulation L.
Hey,
Keep
bring
that
them
rolling.
on, dude.
Yeah. So that's cool with me. I think last time I checked, I think by points percentage they're like 7th from the bottom. So it seems like they'll probably be locked into at least like a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I don't think they get below like 5. There's some
there are
some
some really
shitty
brutal
teams in the Western
teams.
Conference.
Yeah.
Like really bad. I think the
Fucking,
Flyers,
Blackhawks are probably going to get another fucking like first overall.
the Sharks are down there.
Yeah, I think the Sharks are all the way at the bottom, and then it's like the Blackhawks. And
the Ducks are back there. There's some butt ass teams,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think
Penguins are like right above us. Which
I think they're gonna pass us.
Yeah,
Pass
us as in like
have
back.
more points.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Dude, the Flyers are so bad, right? Like, Konechny can't score no more. Mishkov's still putting up numbers, but Torts is benching him for boneheaded stuff. I was watching some of that game Sunday, and I had Michkov anytime 1 point. All I needed was 1 point.
Wow, brutal.
But, I mean, Torts benches him for the last 10 minutes of the first period. I mean, kind of legitimate. Like, he made a pretty bad read on the play that ended up in a goal. But then, did you see Torts after the game?
Yeah,
I'm so over this guy, dude, telling the media. Basically, like, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have the exact quote. But he basically said, yeah, me benching him is between you and me. And I'm not going to give you the information because I don't want to hear your bullshit. It's like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, well, it was just like, it's more than just one play because there's other things going on, and I'm not going to tell you that. And it's like, okay, so like you're not going to tell us what's actually happening, and then you're also going to get mad for us drawing conclusions from what we do know. Like,
right?
I don't know, man. Like, I'm hoping that this offseason is when they start to explore who they want their next coach to be. I think, I've always been of the opinion that like Torts is a good coach. I think he enables a lot of his teams to punch above their weight, which is good, but it's just like some of the stuff he does, it's just you can only do it so many times. It's like when he just like benches guys randomly,
doesn't maybe even not communicate to them.
But it's like, yeah, once in a while, like that can be a little effective. But if you just keep going back to that you're going to get diminishing returns, and you're going to start getting, you're going to start losing the locker room and all of that. And it's just, there's a reason why all these coaches have a fucking shelf life. It's just eventually the message wears thin.
Yeah, especially
I think that's kind of where we're at.
The NHL coach tenure, like the average coaching tenure, I think right now is like 2.5 years.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
They're in and out.
Like Torts he's already around that, and I mean, it almost kind of feels like just losing and coaching a rebuilding team. He's kind of had it with dealing with young players that have upside, but he has to coach really hard to get it out of them. This shit where he scratched York.
Yeah.
Apparently, I seen a tweet today that York was like, yeah, like he never really said anything to me, and I have no idea really why I scratched. York hadn't been playing great, but as a coach, if you're going to scratch someone, you at least got to tell them, like, hey, listen, go take a little break, go chill, like watch some film, work out, rest, whatever you got to do to get your game right. I'm just going to scratch you for a game or two. He apparently didn't even have enough respect to do that.
Yeah.
Just like, listen, man, I get it. Like, he's 60-something. He's a boomer. He's from the old school. And, like, yeah, that hard-ass coaching works sometimes. But with certain players, they're just never going to respond well to that. And a young team like this, a lot of these guys, some of them will respond to it. But like we seen it with Coots last year. He's the oldest player on the team. Most guys at this point in their careers, at this point in, like, the NHL or pro sports in general, you need to be like vocal and communicate. You can't just do things.
Yeah.
He's also got to realize that like he has to know that too. Like there's no way he's doing the same thing over and over again and being like, I'm right all the time.
No.
Unless he's a sicko and is, but like it's just that makes no sense to me.
Yo, is he married?
Can't be.
What do you think it's like being Torts' like wife or significant other? Or could you imagine being his son or his daughter? Dude.
Probably always a disappointment.
Oh my God, dude.
Always a disappointment.
Yeah,
you're never doing anything
you're
right.
Probably a shut-in. Well, I'm looking it up right now. John Tortorella.
Family.
Personal life. Personal. Wikipedia doesn't have anything on his personal life.
He probably killed his wife. She's probably dead in the backyard somewhere.
I guess I'll just Google. Was
She
John
probably made a busted
Tortorella
ass
married?
lasagna one day and he threw her in the backyard.
Is John Tortorella married? Oh, first was damn. Christine Tortorella.
Oof.
Oh, Christine says John is a good person and a good man, but not without imperfections.
That's why he's bad.
Oh, my God.
Are they still together?
When is this from? Yeah, as of January 30th. Wow. Poor Christine, man.
I mean,
Maybe he's a totally different guy at home.
Yeah,
people
I
are
don't
like
think
that.
so. Something's telling me no.
I don't know, man. But anyway, yeah, the Flyers, it's a hard watch right now. Like, I'll still continue to watch these games just because it's fun to watch my hockey team even when they suck, and I kind of want them to lose a lot of games. Like, I'm mad when they look like they're going to win games now.
yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
I would rather them just lose, right? And the same thing with the Sixers, who we'll get to in a moment. Like, it's just, I enjoy watching these games because it's fun to watch Michkov, and you want to see which young players, like, actually show you something. But for the most part, I'm kind of tuned out. It's a shame. It's on, actually, though, I'll say this for both teams. It's liberating getting to watch them and having no expectations of winning.
Yeah.
It sucks
It
that
feels
that's
good.
where we're at, but it's kind of liberating.
It feels good though
No.
to do that.
I mean, honestly, this is kind of where I wanted the Flyers to end up this season. Like, I didn't think that they were. I thought there was like slight outside chance they could make the playoffs, but even if they did, they weren't going to get very far. And since they're still in this sort of rebuilding stage, I wanted them to get as high of a draft pick as they could. So I welcome all this, but I don't know.
I would welcome it more if, like, they had more young players performing.
Yeah.
I'm a little discouraged that Urson's turned back into a pumpkin, which I never thought he was, like, bona fide, like, number one goalie, top 10 goalie in the league, but he was showing a little something. A week ago, we were talking about how he was playing better. He's been extremely ass, starting with the game I went to last week, where he gave up 3 goals in 5 minutes.
Yikes.
He's been horrible. And, I don't know, Owen Tippett's had his moments, but for the most part, a lot of these young guys, like Jamie Drysdale had a pretty cool goal, I guess that was Sunday.
He's been pretty solid, I think.
But I just still feel like they're so far away.
Yeah, but like how
they
you
also don't have. Yeah, I mean, so
They
their
don't
point
have
with Urson,
center
they don't have a goalie right now.
Yeah,
really.
like, who's their
So-
best center is Noah Cates, who's fine, but, like,
Yeah,
he's actually held his own against the McDavids and the Crosbys of the world recently, but, like, I don't know. He's not a 1C. He never will be. Best cases, he's a 2C. Realistically, he's probably a 3, and that's the best center. So not only do we need a 2C, we need a 1C too.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, but just like how we watch the games now and have no pressure of if they win or lose, like you play for an organization where you're on the teeter-totter of like, are we tank? Like, are we going to be in a rebuild? Are we we're going to scratch and fight our way into the playoffs? And then you're dealing with trade talks and people that you're getting to know as a young team are getting traded here and there for picks and other players. And it's a very kind of transactional team at this point. When do you go out there and fucking bust your ass there for a coach that seems as though doesn't really like you as a person, and B, nothing really else is happening for the team.
Oh, they lost again, 5-2.
So like, what the fuck? They got no motivation
Tank
right
is
now.
on.
Yeah, I mean,
Could you win too many games? You're going to hear on the radio fans hate that they keep winning. You're going to be back in purgatory. You lose too many games. They hate that you lose, but it's better for the team in the long run. You're kind of like, and they're all young and immature. There's no real, like, they're just, that's what they are right now. So,
yeah, they're in a tough spot. I think the one thing you brought up is, the coach doesn't really care and you don't really respond well to the coach. I mean, if Torts completely loses this team in the locker room after they traded Laughton, they could really kind of jettison him this year, right? Because he has one more year on his deal. They could just say, hey, all right, John, let's start your time in the front office
I
now.
wouldn't be surprised if that happens this offseason.
I mean, who likes him in the locker room? He
That is
had beef with TK. He probably doesn't know what the fuck.
That is a very good question.
Michkov and him don't know what the fuck each other are saying. Like, that's your new rising star. You got a goalie that's trying his ass off to be the number one goalie, who probably shouldn't be the number one goalie, but did well for a while this season and, end up being who he is. The other guy is just a big Russian that doesn't really want to play. Like, there's no grip on the locker room at all.
Yeah, I do wonder who in the locker room actually likes Tortorella. I don't know.
It's just like, I love this guy.
Nobody.
Like, you would think Coots would. He's the captain and he's the oldest on the team. Coots doesn't like him after that stuff last year, where he benched him late in the named him the captain, then scratched him for 5 games in a row.
I'm saying, he's got beef with everybody. Hell? That locker room's got to be in shambles.
Yeah.
From a coach and player perspective, the players might be tight, but I don't see them.
And it's also just the fact that it's no secret that he's not gonna. I mean, maybe he'll live out the rest of the contract and then they'll move him to the front office. But it's all these players know that he's not going to be around for that long,
right?
And so it's just
almost they're just waiting for him to just be sent off to the pasture, and then they can kick it into gear, maybe, or just start to build. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the other thing, too, worth considering is they're finally going to have some cap space going in this offseason. They'll have a lot of draft picks, some trade equity, or they can just spend those picks and get some young players. Now it might be the ideal time to bring in that coach that can grow with these players and win with them in a year or two.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, I feel like it's this offseason might be when they start to turn the key towards trying to actually, not rebuild, but I don't know, build, actually start to put a team together.
What's in between rebuilding and contending?
Blueprinting.
Purgatory, which is where they were for a long time.
Yeah, but to your point, too,
it's purgatory with upside.
They have a ton of a lot of high draft picks this draft, a lot of cap space, and you have Mishkov, so it's you have the some of the building blocks there. So I feel like it's kind of time to start, I don't know, pushing your chips in.
Well, you're bringing someone with vision, someone with at least somewhat of a fresh idea. The Flyers historically have always been New Age of Orange. We're bringing toughness back to Broad Street. It's a lot of nostalgic energy, which I feel is fleeting in hockey. We're you gotta.
Yeah, they gotta get.
We gotta get fucking off this fucking train here, man. I get it. It was cool, but we're not. The coach is old school. It's not the same as football, right? You're being old school defense. You can kind of see that come through. Hockey is, I don't know. It's just a different game that way.
The game's changed
a
lot.
You gotta get off that shit, man.
Last
get off
15
the whole.
Years, yeah.
There's no. What the fuck is there? They got nothing. They got no mojo right now. They got no mission. They got no vision. So bring in some new cat.
No, I would love to see them get younger on the coaching staff.
Some energy would be nice.
What is Rocky Thompson, the power play coach?
I don't know why he's still
get
around.
His ass the hell out, dude. Yeah. Oh my god. Yo, they were talking about this. Did you listen to PHLY Flyers podcast where you're talking about the power play? It's 33rd in the last 2 seasons.
Dude.
There's only 32 NHL teams.
I know. It's wild. I don't know what this guy does. Even if he was amazing at everything else that he does, the fact that he's in charge of the power play, you do not belong here. Get the fuck out.
You're literally lower ranked than there are the number of teams in the league. The reason for that is because the Coyotes count as 32nd, and then Utah counts as 33rd because the Coyotes moved.
Oh my god!
But how are you 33rd out of 32 teams in the league?
That's bad.
And it's not even like this is a fluke. This has been a thing for the last.
No, this has been
8 years.
With different players.
Even when Giroux was here towards the end of his time, still ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, they got to get younger on the coaching staff, and hopefully this is the off season to do it because.
Yeah.
If they don't,
I'll hang on to Bradshaw, but everyone else can fuck off.
Yeah. Bradshaw's developed some of our defensive players really well, but. Anyway, they lost again. You know what I'm gonna start doing. It's when there's high-level tank matchups. Because usually the tradition is you do a shot when the Flyers or Sixers win a big game. When they lose a game that is critical to the tank, that's a shot of 99 bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Because, there's no use in doing them when they win. That's bad now.
Yeah, it's bad for the team.
Hey, it's what we want to happen, It's
The only time I would do one if they win is if they beat the Penguins. I mean, it's always good to beat the Penguins. That's like beating the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Or like if the Sixers were to beat the Celtics again, but they don't play them again. But speaking of the Sixers, let's get into them real quick.
Yeah.
Speaking of tanking. Tanktastic, dude.
Yeah.
Man.
They, unfortunately, they won that game against Utah, but then they lost against the Hawks, and like everyone else won that night.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that game was good for the
that
tank.
Was good.
But I think they finally realized it's time to start tanking.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
About damn fucking time.
who was
It's
it?
about damn time.
Nurch was on there talking about, I guess this was before the Utah game. Yeah, Gershon and Kelly Oubre, and I forget who else he mentioned. I think Andre Drummond. They've been playing a lot of minutes. I'm going to start scaling them back. That's a director from Josh Harris and Daryl Morey to be like, hey, the tank's on, baby. Let's get it. And then they've been playing the young guys, and again, like, they suck. Right? Like, they're a bad team other than Quentin Grimes. He's been hooping.
Yeah, he's been balling.
But it's been kind of fun to watch. Like, Adem Bono was hooping against Utah, even though they shouldn't have won that game. He had like 15 points, 14 rebounds, and like 5 blocks.
Nice.
He was balling. And it was kind of fun to watch just young guys hoop. It felt like you were watching the Process Sixers all over again, man. I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing. I don't know. I feel like the Sixers are just kind of like in that kind of cruise control right now, where they're not really, doing anything too crazy.
Where do they need to end up to keep that pick again?
Bottom 6.
Bottom 6. They're like right there.
I think it happens. They actually have some tough games left on the schedule yet. They still got to play OKC. They still got to play Indiana. Who else? They still got to play a couple other good teams. Oh, man, I can't think of this right now. I usually write it down, but I didn't. Their schedule, they still have some tough games, whereas the Raptors, who they're in direct competition with for that 6th or like the bottom 6, have the easiest schedule in the league. The Sixers still play the Raptors twice, including tomorrow. They really
That'll
need to
be the
lose
tank
that.
match right there. Yeah.
Gotta lose.
Yeah. But yeah, I think realistically, I kind of like their chances of falling just because, let's face it, Embiid's done for the year. Paul George should probably just sit out. He should go back to his podcast now.
Yeah.
Let him get back
Time
to
to pick up the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, podcast
PG.
P, your hiatus was short-lived. Maxey, he's got this finger thing, and now he's got a back issue
Shut
too.
him down.
Yeah.
Let him get right for next season.
I just keep thinking, whenever it comes to Sixers, I keep thinking of that, like whenever on like Kitchen Nightmares, whenever whenever they go to the kitchen and it's all just like gross and it's like just cross contamination. It's like shut it down, shut it down.
That's how
That's how I feel about the Sixers. Yeah, just shut it down, baby.
Yeah, they're just
turn off the lights.
Yeah, turn it off. Everyone go home.
We'll see you guys next year.
We'll do some renovations. We'll come up with a new name for the restaurant and a bunch of new decor and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're kind of doing that.
Next year it'll reopen.
They're doing it one
I really
light.
love Bar
They're doing it
Rescue
one light at a
too.
time. They're doing it very slowly.
Did you see what they're doing? They're bringing these back.
Oh, nice.
Yo, y'all didn't see this?
No,
Let me
I
find
didn't
this.
see it.
This was a press release from the Sixers.
This is not more fake news from Avery's
No, I think
News.
this one's real.
No, I didn't
find
hear
it.
something about that.
I can't find it. That's the video of us singing Creed at what do you call it the other night?
Man.
Raise.
So yeah, this was a press release from the Sixers to season ticket holders. As we prepare for the 25-26 season, we're drawing inspiration from a team that personified the type of grit and tenacity required to compete for a championship. The 2001 76ers led by Allen Iverson. Throughout the upcoming season, we will celebrate the 25th anniversary of our NBA Finals team by honoring their legacy with exclusive events, theme celebrations, and special recognitions. Oh, we think you'll like the uniforms we'll wear on the court next season too. Let's go, baby. They're finally bringing them back.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, hopefully, like, Embiid gets right. He probably won't.
Hopefully McCain will look good, though.
But
McCain and Maxey like that?
Maxey, Paul George, maybe he can not podcast during the offseason to actually work on his game. Maybe they come back and they're good and they do these jerseys justice. But if not,
burn them.
they'll probably still be at a bunch of games. If they're going to pay tribute to, like, the 2000, 2001 Sixers,
would you get a Maxey jersey in that? Is there anyone on the team that you would get that jersey in right now?
Maxey's probably the only one.
Yeah, maybe Maxey or
Maxey or
McCain.
Yeah, maybe McCain. He'll probably be around for a while. No one else is guaranteed to be around for that long. I'm gonna get an addendum bonus. Like,
I'm just gonna get a custom made Tobias Harris one just to do it.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'm gonna get an Andrew Bynum custom.
Then you'll go hurt your knee playing bowling just like him.
I'll go. Yeah, just I gotta go. Fucking tear my rotator cuff at Top Golf in honor.
No, but I am kind of excited for them to bring those jerseys back. They'll probably have a night where they honor the late great Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, man, we've been asking for this shit for a minute now.
Yeah, dude, hold up. What if they bring hip hop back?
That's what they gotta do. They gotta bring back hip hop.
Bring him back for one night.
Bring him back.
They should have him and Franklin just fight at center court.
Oh,
yeah, look how rocked up hip hop is. He would rock Franklin.
Last mascot standing wins the next 30-year contract.
Yeah, yeah, we're moving in a new arena. This is for all the marbles.
What good has happened to this team since we had Franklin?
Nothing.
Yeah,
well, and B, but again, that could be a toss-up. That could be a toss-up as well.
Yeah, I think that's good. But yeah, there's been more bad.
It was good that we got the thing is, even
if you want to say Embiid's good, which I think objectively, like,
it's a
Embiid
sweet and
has
sour.
been good.
It will always be a sweet and sour.
Yeah. Won an MVP.
People were roasting you for saying that last week.
What?
On TikTok.
That he's a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, people were not having that.
Hey, get loud.
People were like, first ballot, that's fucking crazy.
MVP, 2 scoring titles, should have been a 3rd. Like 7 all-star teams, 5 all-defensive teams. If Yao Ming was a first ballot Hall of Famer, their careers are very similar. Embiid's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You could argue he's accomplished more. So, hey, people on TikTok, you're part of your own opinions. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, it's just the people can't get over the haterade.
Well, yeah, they're the same people I was calling out last week.
Yeah,
they probably see a bunch of memes about how he's missed a bunch of games, or they're obviously probably not Sixers fans. Haven't been living and dying with him for the last 10 years. Like, they haven't seen him score 70 points. They probably would say that the U.S. would have won the Olympics without him. If he doesn't play in that Serbia game, U.S. doesn't win.
Yeah.
Simply put, like, they weren't there his first game like you and me, right? They ain't ride or die. They weren't there when he won MVP like you or me. So, hey, again, I hope y'all listen on TikTok or watching on TikTok or whatever. I hope you continue to berate me and call me out and talk shit. Because, hey, at the end of the day, that's good for engagement, but I'm right. So that's all I got to say on that one.
I don't even think he's a Hall of Famer, to be honest with you.
What the hell?
I'll kid. I'll play it.
I'll also say this. So here, I'm going to start even more controversy. As I'm wearing an Allen Iverson jersey, if you were born after the year 1985, Embiid is the best 76er you have seen in your lifetime.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question.
No, people get mad about that on the internet.
People just, I understand why people like Allen Iverson more, but if we're just talking about purely, like, talent,
for sure,
it's Embiid by a mile.
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Yeah, like
AI only played on one side of the ball.
Yeah. Embiid was a freak. When Embiid, like you said, we lived and died through Embiid's career. But when we were living. I mean, he was doing things that were just so freaky, man. Yeah, scoring titles back to. I mean,
dude, before he got hurt last year, he's averaging 36 points and 11 rebounds as a center, averaging 36 points in a guard.
He was on pace for another MVP.
Yeah. Averaging like 6 assists too.
He was crushing it.
He was better than Jokic, but hey, whatever, man. Y'all are entitled to y'all's opinions. Hey, come find me at a bar. We'll have a bunch of drinks, and I'll win this argument. I'll take that to the grave.
That's just unfortunately the kind of environment that Embiid's career breeds, though. Like, he will forever be known as
extremely polarizing.
Yeah, that's what his whole career will be known for, because his injury proneness will always be a factor. His playoff performance or lack thereof will always be a factor, right? There's a lot of things going against the man, but there's also so much good going for him. But it's always going to end up being a tough, like, what could have been. It will be his main, shtick.
I'll continue to say that, too. He's a tragic hero. Yeah. Like, you always think about if tragedy hadn't struck, how much better could his career have been?
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, it is what it is. But, like I said, I'm not here to beef with the listeners. I actually kind of am, but I hope you still listen and follow us on TikTok and do all that good stuff. Leave comments. Trevor, do you comment back? I might need to get a TikTok so I can comment back whenever.
Shit.
Yo, like that one guy on Instagram, he was talking shit. I
Then he
talked
deleted
so
all
much
his
shit
shit.
back. He deleted. I gotta go defend myself. I don't even have a TikTok. I think I gotta get one for this.
Yeah. Unlike fuck that pussy, he's a real one.
Yeah, I hope he listens. He hasn't commented in a while, or I think it was fuck you, pussy.
Or now. Well, one or the other, tomato.
It's a subtle but crucial difference.
Tomato, whatever.
Nah, I wonder how he's feeling right now. We got to find him and get him on the pod, yo. That's an OG.
Well, for the 100th pod episode, we'll bring all the people.
Yeah, we'll get guests. We'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he lives around here.
We'll bring the PPA up in here.
Absolutely not. I seen 2 of those scoundrels today patrolling.
Damn.
They're back out because it's nice out. They don't have to sit in their cars and make a paycheck not doing anything, which I'm all for, by the way. But now they're actually out doing their job, taking them people for...
Well, it's not 10 degrees out. They're like, you know what? They're like bears coming out of hibernation. They're like, time to put them boots on real quick. Let me get out of here.
Nah, I was tempted to spit on one of them. But, yo, get this. So my douchebag neighbor, he started doing the thing with the 3 cars.
Oh, he's got all of them out now?
He's been working on them. I walked out the door to walk over here. One of them had a flat tire.
Nice.
And it wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
Because I was considering it the other day. Because I was mad as hell. I got out of the car and I went to the grocery store Sunday morning. I get home and I see all 3 of his cars parked and he's working on one of them. So I don't have anywhere to park right in front of my house. And I got like 5 bags of groceries and like a case of water, a bottle of liquor. I'm like, damn, this is about to be 3 or 4 trips to the grocery store. Or not the grocery store, from the car after the grocery store. But so I start working through it. Then I like kind of look. I'm like, damn, next time he's not around, I need to pop one of them tires. But then he would probably know it was me because he knows where I live and I know where he lives. He might think it was me. So I was very glad when I walked out the door and I seen someone had flat, or maybe he did it. I don't know. I was just very glad to see one of those tires flat. That karma's a bitch, dog.
You gotta go to that hardware store, get some roofing nails, I'm telling you.
I think I have some masonry nails, but you're telling me they don't work?
You need a nice...
They're like...
Whatever long nail you need, but 2.
Okay.
Front and back, just in case they back up or pull out.
True, good point. I don't know any one of his cars, too. Yeah, I could hit. What if I got all 3? Then they ain't going anywhere, but good. That'll cost him a lot of money. I really don't like this guy. Most of the neighbors don't either. Because
it is cheaper to buy more than 1 tire for the same car when you're replacing them. So if you got 1 for each car,
that's a good point.
That'd be a bitch.
That's
and get like 1 front, like a front, a back.
I mean, that would be classic. The guy, tries to pull out and the one pops and then he's like, damn it. And gets to the second one, doesn't think to check that.
But he backs up the second time and then pops out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's always the front to back because you never know what people's first move is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll have to be smart about it.
Come on now.
But hey, yeah, I mean, I highly doubt anyone in my neighborhood listens to this. But if you do, it wasn't me. Like Shaggy said, it wasn't me.
Yeah. We got anything else? Anything going on in the universe?
I mean, Trump, like, at the White House talking about Tesla was kind of sickening, but also kind of funny.
Yeah, just basically turning the White House lawn into a Tesla dealership. That's really cool. Definitely not just, like, naked corruption, but...
Yo, apparently he was just reading a script, too. Like, it wasn't him, like, saying
like
these
literally
things.
Doing
they had a whole script with what he was supposed to say.
That man can't fucking drive.
Yeah, I'm like...
Yeah, he does.
I don't know if he's ever driven a car.
No, he didn't even drive. He didn't even drive that trash truck. The trash man drove that.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, yeah.
That whole gimmick, he wasn't even driving. It was like, you were the fucking most pussy-ass trash man. Then if you're in the passenger seat, not even driving the trash truck.
If he ever did drive, he's certainly not suited to drive now.
No. I mean, I can't. I'm so numb to all that. It's just like, it's a stupid, I don't know. It's comical.
Yeah.
But you knew that after taking all them fucking roses out, too, his first term. Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden.
Oh, yeah.
No respect for that fucking place. When they yelled fucking Zelensky, Ukrainian.
Yeah,
you know
your
what I mean?
boy. That whole thing, like, I don't really want to talk, because that got me real pissed off when
I'm
I
not
was seeing
getting fired about that. But, yeah, Tesla. another great American losing his money for sticking up for America. I'm like, shut the fuck up. He's not even technically, he's not even American. I mean, maybe he is, but I don't think he is.
Not.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a citizen at this point.
But he ain't from here.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Not that's
like saying you live in like Delco and you're saying you're from Philly.
Yeah.
It's like that's even worse. What Musk is doing. That's even worse.
Delco's not running the country. Yeah. This guy's over here.
Yeah. Tim Donaghy's not.
Yeah, I'd rather Tim Donaghy be in the.
I love when he was
he's the Secretary of Commerce.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be. People would be real lax about gambling. Not that they aren't. Like, no one gives a shit about gambling right now.
No. Look how small the print is. So, like, if you have a gambling addiction.
Yeah, it is hilarious. Apparently, March is, like, gambling addiction awareness.
Oh, I got an email about that today. Did you get it, too?
I kept getting emails from, like, DraftKings and FanDuel. It's like, this month is gambling awareness month. It's like, oh, yeah, you fucking give a shit.
Yeah, I was...
oh, man.
March, maybe because of March Madness, probably?
I don't know.
Possibly.
They just picked it.
That is when March Madness is when a lot of people like that don't usually gamble on sports do come out of the woodworks a little bit.
It's like dry January, but for gamblers. So like, I haven't gambled all year, but this month, I'm gonna dabble a little bit.
Yeah, I got one of those, and it's like it was specifically from like the Screen Time of Gambling like association or something weird. It's like, damn, my screen time on FanDuel was kind of high yesterday. Were they watching me?
This is the funny part, too, is like I open my inbox and there's like an email from like DraftKings talking about Gambling Addiction Awareness Month. And if you know anyone that needs help, blah, blah. And then the next email was from Caesars and it was like, it was literally, enter to win the Guy Fieri cooking set.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar experience. Like,
it's like Caesars, like we like DraftKings. These people are new. Like Caesars, they've been around the block a few times. Like we don't give a fuck about gambling addiction. We just enter to win a fucking hot plate or whatever the fuck it is. Like,
yeah, my experience was like I got the email from like this weird Screen Time gambling association or whatever. One of the other emails in my inbox was DraftKings promoting like a no sweat bet. And then the other one was FanDuel, like, 30% profit boost. I'm like, damn, so, like, what do I choose? Do I choose the one that tells me not to gamble? The one to the two that are clearly telling me, no, we want you to gamble? I actually didn't choose any. I was too busy, but it was just funny that, like, I don't know, that there is a month for gambling awareness. Has this always been a thing?
I don't know.
It can't have been. Gambling, it's wild to think sports betting wasn't even really a thing like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is probably a new, like, they make up like national holiday, or not national, but like national, like eat ice cream days. So is this like one of those BS, like National Gambling Awareness Month?
Yeah.
Miss me with that.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know where it came from or who made it up.
I'm far from a gambling degenerate, Dave Kiss. But I do enjoy the bet a little bit, and just because it's Gambling Awareness Month, you ain't going to stop me.
Yeah. Cannot be stopped.
Can't stop, won't stop. Not this month.
We got March Madness, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Betting on these tanking NBA games is kind of hard.
But, full effect.
I've made some money betting against the Sixers, though, even still. But now we got March Madness coming up. Baseball will be here in a month.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to bet on that stuff. There are definitely some sports books where you can bet on NFL, like free agency and draft. I seen.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that in Pennsylvania, but a lot of states you can bet on like when people are going to go in the draft and that kind of stuff.
I remember one year. This might have been during COVID. You could bet on like the combine.
That's hilarious.
What?
Like, this guy's gonna run like a 4.40.
Damn.
Or a 4.40, and like you could bet on all sorts of twisted stuff.
Wasn't that the Jordan Davis year too? That'd have been a crazy one to bet on.
It was a couple years ago. Yeah, it was during COVID where like betting wasn't as prominent because there wasn't as much actual sports to bet
money on that shit.
But yeah, that was wild, dude. What a time to be alive. Yo, you remember during COVID when you could bet on the weather?
Yeah. There was nothing else to do.
Oh, fuck.
Yo, bring that back. Nah, don't bring that back. That sounds horrible. The way the weather forecast.
I wouldn't mind bringing that
back. I do remember, like, not that this wasn't like necessarily betting related, though. I'm sure you could bet on it somewhere. But I remember when COVID was going on, there was like no sports. There was these people I forget where it was, but they were televising like these like marble races, or there would just be like these little like almost like Hot Wheel tracks type of stuff, and they just like drop marbles and like watch them like, and that was like riveting. The closest thing to sports you could get during the like the beginning peak of COVID.
There really was nothing going on.
That's why.
But I remember the first thing that came back was Korean baseball.
Oh, that was badass, yeah.
And they were showing like Korean baseball on ESPN. Fucking Aaron Altera was playing.
Yeah, former Philly.
I remember that shit. Yeah, that was wild. The KBO.
Yeah, the bubble. Oh, the bubble was so weird.
Bubble. Oh, with all the fucking screens too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been like 5 years
Disney
now
World?
Since COVID.
Yeah, that was. I was just getting drunk a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole country was. Yeah.
Drunk. Yeah, it was a blur.
Yeah, I'll never forget, man. So, like, we all went to Puerto Rico to celebrate Dave's birthday or whatever, like 5 years ago. And, like, the trip there, like, we're at the airport and we're seeing people wearing masks. And I'm thinking, why is everyone wearing masks? COVID ain't real. What do we got to worry about? We're going to go enjoy a nice vacation in Puerto Rico. And then, like, that was you got let go. We talked about this over the weekend. Then Hannah got quarantined and she started freaking out. And then I remember the ride back from the Puerto Rico, the plane back. I see more people wearing masks in the airport and people start coughing and sneezing. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of uneasy. So then this was this wasn't the cherry on top. This was up there though. So then we get back and I remember I go to Lucky 13 for my last beer of vacation before I go back to work. And I walk into the bar and like, it's springtime-ish. So the allergies are a little potent, and I sneeze as soon as I get into the bar. This dude immediately closes his tab and leaves. So then the next day I go to work, and we'll work a couple of days. And the managers are all like, okay, yeah, pack up your laptop and go home for 2 weeks.
I remember that. I was like, all right, we're just going to work from home for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Until this all blows over.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this will be real quick.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, here we are 5 years later. My company hasn't had us all back, like all of us back ever since. It was wild.
It was a wild trip, man.
Yep. Crazy times. Well, I think that'll just about do it for us here tonight, everybody. Thank you for listening and tuning in. Please leave us a 5-star rating and a review of your podcast. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Send us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.
See ya.